Hello there YouTube, my name is Masterofroflness, and if you can tell by the title, we're playing Sins of Galactic Empire as the Vong this time around. Now you may be asking, what are the Vong? I haven't seen this from the original trilogy or the expanded universe in the Clone Wars series. Well, that's because the Vong take place after the events of episode 6 in a book trilogy known as the Yong-Zan Vong War. And essentially what the Vong are basically a race of beings that kind of have the dude-bro relationship with their planet, kind of like the Smurfs in Avatar, where they can talk to their planet about the weather and stuff like that, and their planet suddenly dies because of some unknown reason. I don't know, I forgot that bit. But anyway, their planet dies, and they take the remains from their planet and convert them into living, breathing organisms that they float through space. And they come upon the Star Wars galaxy and essentially begin this mass genocide of every life form in that galaxy in order to recreate their own empire. They're kind of like eco-terrorists, except with a little bit of a Zerg blend going on for them. So they're super nature loving and stuff like that. Also, they don't have any force sensitive beings at all in their empire. So in general, there's no Sith or Jedi at all for the Vong. In fact, they can't use the Force at all, which is pretty darn interesting. But yeah, that's basically the Vong for you. And we're going to be playing as them. Now, I've also taken the liberty of changing a bunch of the features in the modifications so that things aren't as laggy as the last Let's Play, which is pretty darn good. Things were getting super bad for us, but I think for the most part I've been able to essentially change shit around so that you can see all the pretty gizmos and gadgets for the mod, as well as not have too much lag going on. That's basically about it. And we're going to be playing on a smaller map as well, so no lag whatsoever, which is good. I mean, we were playing on 113 planets, which was a little bit too much. We're going to be playing with 54 planets. That's going to be a fine number for the most part. It's big enough for your arms to stretch out wide and create some massive fleets, and also small enough so that we can get a large amount of battles going really fast. Now, definitely lock teams are going to be in play right now, because I don't want to be facing off against two guys at the same time. Okay, so take out those two AIs so that we have less lag to worry about. Now, who were the two factions I did verse off against in the last Let's Play? Republic and the Empire. We'll have the last guys random. Now, for the most part, I was tempted to actually change my AI difficulty to easy, because they did buff up the normal AI recently and made them a lot more annoying, so to speak. But you know what? In general, I think normal AI is fine. Now let's see my player setup. Reversing, we have this Skeletor looking dude as our main faction leader. He kind of has some Aku armor going on for him from Samurai Jack, you know, with the cool black spikes popping out of his shoulder blades. For the most part, all the Vong kind of look like giant skeletons, except for this lady. She kind of looks like a mutated elf. And this guy has the smuggiest grin of the entire solar system right now going on for him. Just like, hey, I got some bones coming out of my head. Alrighty then, so I think it's tip-top shape actually. Oh fuck, I needed my presets. Oh well. Public, Empire, and that's it. Alrighty then, start this baby up right. And that's basically it. So the Vong are essentially, we have Mon Calamari as our starting planet. That is super, super, super awesome. Now, for the most part, the Vong have a ton of stuff going for them in regards to their advantages over their opponents. Now, one advantage that they do have is the fact that they have a huge regen factor. Like, I mean, these guys can regen health that makes Deadpool and Wolverine look like child's play. It's insane. Like, over here, this cluster ship actually has a health regen rate of about 24 or so at the start, which is pretty insane. And their frigates, as well as their support ships, also have the same thing. The issue, however, for the Vong is that because they have such a high amount of health regen, they have some pretty weak units at the start. In fact, not even weak as in like, oh, they're just like average, you know. They can definitely handle their own against some ships in some circumstances. Like, no, I mean, like, these guys have the weakest frigates in the entire game. Look at this. The Yorick Strohan, the Yorick Strohan has about 1600 hull strength and 1 armor. That's pretty darn weak, and this is a frigate, mind you. Roflmasterscave is even worse because they're a little bit more expensive and essentially have a little bit more damage, but they're super, super weak and have the same amount of hull strength and armor strength as the Roflmasterscave. Just sucks. Now, their next ship, the Avec Lunanu, is actually a pretty good frigate. It gives about as many squadrons as a Loser Hulk battleship, which is pretty good, and they have a lot more hull strength and armor. However, you have to get 3 military research in order to even have these things, so that kind of sucks. Puts us down a little bit. And anyway, that's really about it for the Vong frigates. The sport ships are kind of the standard run-of-the-mill, and the capital ships, pretty darn weak. They're not exactly as expensive as the Loser Hulks, and they don't do nearly as much damage, but they have a huge amount of health regen, and they're pretty cheap. They're average, essentially. They're not the best, but they're not the worst by any stretch. Now, really, however, the Vong excel at their Titans. Now, the Vunguru Ikval is kind of like your standard, super powerful super battleship, which is essentially, just kind of like this Geonosian Star Destroyer. It's powerful. It can do the job, but it's not, exactly the most strongest thing on the planet. Like, you have to support it with a ton of ships. And you can build 4 of these, so you can definitely overwhelm your opponents really, really fast. However, the Kurostrohan is definitely a different story. This thing is the most expensive ship you can build in the mod, and is currently the biggest ship that you can build. Has a ton of hull strength and a good amount of armor, and does quite a massive bit of damage. And can field about 30 squadrons, which I think is the most out of all the capital ships, or the super capital ships. So in general, once we get out the Kurostrohan, we can essentially completely annihilate entire fleets with no, trouble whatsoever. We're going to become the magic, the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, just in Star Wars form, which is amazing. But it's going to take a long time until we can actually get to that level. Ooh, we are definitely going to Ord Citas for some extra crystal.
Which way?
Now, early on, things are going to suck for us because we have a ton of weak ships, and our capitals, even though they're pretty powerful compared to our frigates, are still pretty darn weak. Just everything's really weak early game. But then later on, once we get out the Titan, like this giant frisbee disc in space, and once we get out some armor upgrades as well as some health regen upgrades, then things are going to look pretty good for us. Alrighty then, so sell off some of you, get military research. And here is our cluster ship. It kind of looks like a giant turd in space with some turd hair popping out. But for the most part, you really don't want to deal with this guy. I mean, really now. He has health regen of 24.4, which means all damage that's coming to him will essentially be nullified super, super fast. Like, this guy will not go down anytime soon. Look at this. He's already healing up as he's being damaged. Usually, for CIS or Empire ships, they have to wait for a cooldown to pop off before they can heal. But no, this guy is ready to go at the start. Also, he's firing out some Hadouken blasts as he's fighting these Empire ships over here, which is pretty darn cool. Either that or some firebending is going on right now, which is also awesome. Like, he's a blend between a firebender and Ryu. My honor must be preserved. Okay, so go, my floating turd. Go. Fight. Fight for your right to party. Fight for your right to use the Hadoukens. Hadouken! I know the gunships we're using are pretty darn good, but I think they were all blown up, actually, at the start, which kind of sucks. Oh well. Let's just get some gunships really fast and send this battleship over to help out my cluster ship. And for now, we could probably get some Roflmasterscave in order to essentially become cannon fodder. Like, I wouldn't want to get these guys, but then again, they're kind of like the grunts in Halo, in that, getting a ton of them is pretty good just to kind of like absorb some damage here and there. Getting this plant is actually going to help out a great deal. There's just so much crystal, and crystal's always a sore spot in this mod.
Frigate ready. Our supporting fleet has joined the battle.
Okay, good.
Time is fleeting.
So far, our frigates are up and running, which is awesome. Come on now. Let's get ourselves set up. I should definitely get some military technology pretty fast, actually. Because once we get out some military research buildings, then we can get Dovin Vassal's defensive, which will help out a great deal in making our frigates a little bit more tanky.
This little one's mine.
Because we're going to use these frigates for the most part, for most of the game. Until we get the AVAC Lunanu. And even then, we're going to get very little of the AVAC Lunanu.
Jump initiated.
I mean, we can't really spam out a ton of them.
Create.
Because they're pretty expensive.
By
Oh, yes, another capital ship. That's good.
an honor. Time is
Now, this capital ship is actually my favorite. Just because it looks like a giant catfish in space. I mean, look at his little whiskers. Oh, he looks so adorable. And these frigates have much to be desired in the aesthetics department. I mean, they kind of look like the giant catfish in space, but instead of whiskers, they have little, like, tendrils popping out of their eyeballs. I don't know what's going on over there. They look hella weird.
Sufficient credits.
Alright, so let's scout out this planet. Oh, damn, I need a lot of crystal in order to do that. That doesn't seem worth it, in my opinion. Alright, I definitely don't want to go to Ancien. That seems like a waste of time, to be honest. Is there any research I want? Well, increasing the damage is always pretty good. But I think for the most part, we need to save up for orbital refinement. Just so that we can get out some better economic tech. God bless ya. Hell yeah, look at that. Inter-system hyperspace speed. 100%. That's kick-ass. Okay, go this way. My fleet. My armada. The mighty fist of the Vong is now at your disposal. And you know what? Once we get out health regen, our ships are going to become unstoppable. I mean, right now the Vong excel at sustained conflicts. Conflicts that essentially last way too long, and they're able to just heal up all the damage that they take in these conflicts. You know what? Vong forming would actually help out also, because we'll get out more growth rate and decrease a lot of costs, which is good. Make our empire a little bit cheap. Okay, go. Go, catfish, go. Your only hope now. Actually, you know what? I would love to get some more frigates. I mean, always getting out a ton of cannon fodder never really hurts. Besides, we make a ton of crystal, so we could just sell off a whole bunch of it. Oh. That ain't kosher. Yeah, I'm not fighting this battle. There's a ton of rebels here that are super powerful, and even if we take over this planet, it just doesn't give us anything. Look at this. Like 2 asteroids? That's not enough. I'm not gonna fight this battle for 2 asteroids. Hell no. Peace out. I really don't like my spawn right now. No, leave, please. Unfortunately, this guy can only heal like 3 health. Leave. Come on. Yeah, there we go. First one's in, last one's out. This guy's a badass. What can I say? He does not care for the loss of his life. He'd rather die for the Vong. For the honor of our planet. Do we have enough for the military research building? No, but we do have enough for orbital refinement. That's good. Getting some orbital refinement in our secondary planet over here with all the crystal is pretty darn good. I mean, we're right now excelling at crystal production. But then again, having 5 crystals at the start is pretty darn OP. Okay, let's see if this planet has 5 metal. That would make me laugh a whole great deal. Laugh so hard, my butt is gonna pop out. Oh, no, it's just a plasma storm. Yeah, currently we're not having a lot of good luck with our next planets. And again, we're competing against the other empires too, so for the most part, we really don't want to be in a situation where these other empires could essentially just out-colonize us. Alright, Syntax class ship. Show me your Dongarino. Stick them up. Face my Hadouken blasts. Yeah, this guy's gonna get completely wrecked. The only ships that we have to worry about that are from the rebels that can actually destroy us are probably the Dreadnought class. And even then, we're just gonna butcher the natives anyway with Hadouken blasts. Alrighty then, so how you doing? How you doing? Get some military research. Let's get logistics upgrades. Come on now. Don't be crazy here. Ooh, we actually lost the Rochimar? Did we? Oh, no. We just didn't bring in our reinforcements. Oh, just send in our reinforcements. So I was about to say, like, how did we go from 11 to 5? Oh, fire the Hadoukens. Baptize him in fire. Are you being hit? No, you're not being hit. Good. But you are healing. That's good. It's a shame that I can't build any repair platforms for the Vong, because that would allow me to super heal all of my units really fast. But that also would be kind of cheating. Rate of fire increase would actually be pretty good, because right now the rate of fire for the Vong is pretty darn high. And they do very little damage, so increasing the rate of fire would actually negate the low amount of damage that they do. I mean, I don't know, more Hadoukens are always pretty nice. Just watching them streak across the sky. Yeah, taste my power. Right now we're in 1 in colonization, 4 in culture. That is actually pretty darn bad. Get some civic research out. And let me guess, that's it for logistics. Yep, that is it for logistics. Oh well. Sell some crystal. And can we get another capital ship? We could. I really want to get out the mid-rook though. Another catfish would be nice. Now that we have like 11 or so Rook Chimars, I think for now we'll be in a pretty good position to just overwhelm all the rebels. They really can't deal with us now. If they couldn't deal with us before, they really can't deal with us at this stage. There are 12 Dreadnought class ships in Uba. That is why I'm not going to take over Uba right now. I mean, that's way too much trouble. But avoiding those planets is going to be a tough one. We're going to have to take them over eventually. Alright, do we have enough for that mid-rook? Ooh, yes we do. Hell yeah. There we go. I mean, we have a super strong navy right now. No, someone beat us in colonization. Damn it. Get out a 3rd planet. I'm not allowed to do that. No. I will not stand for it. But for now, I have no way to actually fight off against their expansions.
I await your command.
Okay, one more military research, and then bam, Dovin Bassel's defensive, as well as Avac Lunanu.
Our ships have left phase space.
Well, finally, a useful planet. How many asteroids there are for this one?
I need orders. All power to phase drive.
Alrighty then, everybody. You know what to do. Fire your Hadoukens. Yeah, by getting out the next tech for hull regen, we could probably get about, like, what? 4 or 5 health regen for our frigates. Increasing it from 3 to 5 would actually make these guys super viable against the other super powerful frigates that can stand up against us. Like the Dreadnought class. Like these guys, these are a pain in the butt. Because they have a ton of shield strength, and they have a ton of hull strength. But you know what? Now we have too many ships for them to deal with. Overwhelming numbers.
We are in agreement.
The club can't handle us right now, boys.
Structure complete.
Oh shit. Hold on a sec. I forgot to get out more Wokshi Mars. Silly me.
More metal is required.
Still don't understand why we need metal, because we're kind of using the dead remains of our old home. So what's the point of metal? I mean, all of our ships are essentially giant pieces of flesh, right? And, you know, they're living beings, and we could talk to them, like, about the weather and, you know, sports and shit like that. So why would we need to actually get metal or crystals? This is super weird. I thought we were eco-terrorists. I feel like the Vong are having an identity crisis right now. The days of our lives, the days of our Vong. That should be a sitcom where this Vong lady is trying to change her identity, her culture, and everything, but her overbearing parents are stopping her from accomplishing her dream. And you know, she's trying to win the beauty pageant, and she falls in love with a Jedi, and her parents are like, "No, you cannot fall in love with a Jedi, I forbid it." So she goes on a wild goose chase to discover her past, and essentially she finds out that she's actually half Jedi, half Vong, and everybody lives happily ever after. God, metal production leaves much to be desired. Oh well. Soon my ships will actually be powerful. Soon. I mean, right now we have enough tech for the Avak Lunanu, so that's good. Can't believe we're 4 in credit production. But that's not my fault, because, I mean, look at this shit. We can't upgrade our civilian infrastructure here at all.
Reactors standing by.
The next research station should be Civic, however. Just so that we can probably get out Vong Forming 2 and Allocation Station. In fact, let's get out Allocation Station and then Vong Forming. I wonder what the research stations actually look like. Hold on a sec. Well, there's the extractors. They're kind of like those massive planet-destroying things in Man of Steel. There's the implanter radar. Whoa! So that's the implanter relay station. It kind of looks like a giant, I don't know, sea urchin in space. The military research station is just a brain but with spikes coming out. What's the CT bug? Oh, it's a giant bug. You know, this is the coolest looking ship I've ever seen. It's a giant cockroach, but with like spikes coming out of it.
Planet development finished. Ready to assemble.
Okay, you guys can go up north. Not up north, up over here. We need to colonize more planets. Stat.
My strength is yours. Hardly a challenge.
And you know what? I'm going to take this fleet and we're going to go down south over here. Well, down over here. To try and take that planet out. Or at least cleanse the planet of the natives.
Structure complete.
I keep saying south and north. And I'm just like, why? When, you know, we're in space and that really doesn't matter.
More research is needed.
Sometimes I feel really dumb in this game. But you know what? I feel dumb in every game. So I guess that's kind of a good thing. It's a very humbling experience to know that
Research finished.
you're a little bit of a dum-num.
Standing by.
Do we have the civic research yet? I don't even know. No, we're still building out extractors. Is there a way to actually increase the production rate of some of these ships or buildings? There's a way to increase the deconstruction rate. I don't know how helpful that is, but that's a thing. For the most part, we're not falling behind too badly. This isn't like our last Let's Play, but
Shall we create?
you know, we are falling behind as things progress.
Structure
And go ahead and sell off more crystal. We don't need that much crystal. We really don't.
Insufficient credits. Ready to assemble.
At least this planet over here gives us